Hi guys! Hey! Can you hear me? Can someone send me a message through the comment section so I know if you can hear me? Ayan. So medyo tayo nag-experiment here. So yeah, and you can send your comments through the streamyard.com/Facebook if you want to send me a message. There you go. Yay! Thank you, Jerome, for validating that you can hear me. Ayan. Hello guys. Hi. It's my favorite day of the week and that is why I call this Good Things Happen on Thursdays live cast session. This is happening on my Facebook pages and YouTube channel, and for those who will catch this later, be sure to check out the links at the description box. Kaya samahan mo kami, join our conversation and chika for today, okay? Again, my name is Roma Miklat. In case hindi nyo ako kilala, my name is Roma Miklat and I am your host for this session. I am the creator and host of not just one, not two, but 3 podcast shows, so please check them out. Empower Talks Podcast, if you're looking for a podcast show that empowers people to find their voice through self-discovery, ito yon, okay? And if you're looking for something like maybe financial podcast, I got you, babe, because I have that Broke Pinay podcast, ang financial podcast ng babaeng gastadora. And this is dedicated para sa mga Pinoy na ayaw pa ring umamin na gastador sila. Nako, no judgmental tayo dyan. Tatawa pero matututo. And syempre pa, ang pinakabago kong show, and that is Usapang Podcast. Kung ikaw naman ay nagbabalak mag-podcast or maybe you already are a podcaster, pero you want to improve your journey sa podcasting, then ito na yon, be. This is the sign talaga with a Z. This is the sign that you must listen and subscribe to that show. Usapang Podcast, ang kauna-unahang Filipino podcast show about podcasting. Co-host ko dito si Jeric Defante of Langga Speaks Podcast. And in every episode, we will give you tips and insights to make your podcast journey a meaningful one. So better check it out, okay? All the shows are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts at kung saan ka man nakikinig ng iyong podcast. And in case you are wondering, may video ba to, moms? May video ba tong session na to? Wale. It's pure audio, mga moms, sir, because as you all know, podcast is audio. But we are doing this live. So there may be technical issues, but we will push through. So once again, welcome to the first ever live cast session of Good Things Happen on Thursdays. So say hi or send a message through the link na nasa screen nyo. Ayan, yung streamyard.com/Facebook. And I want to say hi to Ate Marifi. Ayan. Hi Ate Mafi. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. Sabi niya, hi Roma and Jerome. Ganda, ganda. Ayan. Hi Ate Mafi and hi Jerome for joining us. Thank you again for assisting me earlier. And let's see, ano bang mapapala natin sa session na ito? Wait lang ha. Okay. So ano nga bang meron sa session na ito? Okay, for today's session, I have 3 goals. First, I want to talk about the Sex and the City reboot, Just Like That, which premiered last December 9th on HBO Max. And ang dami kong feels, ang dami kong reaction. And honestly, I was looking for fellow fans because I really want to start a conversation about this. And I even posted it on one of my pages. At dahil ayoko nang maghintay, atat ako, guys. Here we are. I am doing a live episode for this. But at the same time, aside from that, let me just... Yan. But aside from that, our friend from Here We Go Project is here. Ayan, si Jo. Let me just see here. Ayan. But aside from that, our friend from Here We Go Project is here, Joe Alarcon, and Joe is joining me today for some exciting news and updates. And makikipagkwentuhan din siya sa atin. Syempre, I can't let this session end without asking Joe a couple of questions. And if you miss my 5 questions with Roma, eto na yon guys, magbabalik. Babalik natin yan sa ating live cast. And a lot of you enjoyed that segment at na-miss ko rin naman yon talaga. Okay, so stay there, join us today, and if wala ka namang ginagawa, edi makinig ka na lang sa amin, di ba? So ayun. Okay, I think let's now move on to the, as I discussed, just like that. Give me a couple of seconds here. So by the way, ito pala yun guys, I forgot to flash it earlier. Flash talaga. Ayan, those are my shows. O, diba? Dami kong time. So, if you want to follow us, Empowered Talks, That Broke Pinay Podcast, and Usapang Podcast, you can find us. Again, you can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, major podcast platforms. I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, some of them in YouTube. So, in case you have time and you want to know what's in it for you, just check them out, okay? Ayan. So ayun na nga, this Just Like That series, like I said earlier, Just Like That is a reboot of the Sex and the City, and it premiered last December 9th on HBO Max, and as we speak, the 3rd episode is I think now premiering. But I want to talk about the first 2 episodes because what a shocker. By the way, spoiler alert guys ha. So if you haven't watched the first 2 episodes at ayaw mo naman ng spoiler, sige, mapapatawad na kita, you may skip this. Pero if you're staying because you love me, diba? You love me, ganon. Thank you talaga, you're a friend. But by this time, you probably have an idea kung ano yung sinasabi kong big shocker. No pun intended. So it started with episode 1 and it's entitled Hello, It's Me. And it's basically a reintroduction of the characters of Carrie, Charlotte, and Miranda. But the overall theme of the first episode was we can't stay who we were. Meaning, after 13 years since the last movie back in 2008, they had to establish asa na ba sila? What's going on with their lives? And definitely a lot of things change. Guys, senior citizen na sila, 'di ba? They're running towards their 60th birthday, ganyan. And you might be thinking, are they still fabulous? Are they still fierce? Yes, ma'am. They're still fierce and fabulous, but because the world is changing, I think they want to show how these women cope up with the changes, and because remember in the late 90s they are considered the modern women. I mean, they were shattering ceilings of some sort. Of course, I say na hindi naman perfect yung series and marami pa ring problematic areas, but what I love about the show is how it reflects some of the situations that you end up being in, especially if you're single or if you're a single woman in the city, specifically in New York City. And also they are just so open to talk about the things that we should be openly discussing pagdating sa relationships. May it be friendship, may it be romantic relationship. So, ayun, and they also address the Samantha situation, and they pretty much established na they really cut ties with her sa group. And when Carrie said this, ito yung sabi niya. When Carrie said, I always thought the 4 of us would be friends forever. Girl, I felt that. Naramdaman ko yun. But I understand it's also one of the criticisms of the show before, because remember a number of articles in the past pointed out that it's very unrealistic daw yung show na, well, aside from the cost of living ni Carrie Bradshaw above anything else, diba? People were saying na, alam mo, in real life, friends can and will fall apart, which is true. Totoo naman yun. But also, I think they used that as the exit of Samantha's character on the show, because in real life, there's a beef between Kim Cattrall, the actor playing Samantha, and Sarah Jessica Parker, and it seems that it's irreparable. Remember when when everyone thought that Kim Cattrall will not be part of the Sex and the City movie 2, akala talaga nun hindi mo push through, but then she showed up and then she finished the movie. But ang sabi niya after nun, that's gonna be the last. And she actually turned down the project many times. And I think for all of us, especially the fans, dapat yata i-accept na natin at mag-move on na tayo, girl. But I think the entire, ito lang sa akin like the entire Sex and the City story wouldn't be the same without Samantha, because Samantha's character is so colorful and she gave us a lot of emotions. But I definitely love her straightforward, no bullcrap personality, and her leaving the show is something that I want to find out as we watch the next episodes, or maybe the entire season. Do I want to replace her? Probably not. I mean, Samantha is Samantha, period. But I want to know how will they execute the storyline with new characters in, diba? So, yon, that's gonna be exciting, I think. And let's talk about Carrie for a little bit. Still fabulous. We love her. I think she's gonna do more bold looks for this series. Ruffles pa more. But as you know, Carrie is a writer, columnist. But now, dito sa Just Like That series, her job revolves on social media and she's part of a podcast. I remember now na kaya rin pala ako so excited about this, because shows and even books are now including podcasts as a form of media. And oh my God, right? And by the way, if you are looking for shows with podcast elements in it, check out Only Murders in the Building. That's starring Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, and Martin Short. And for Carrie, she's hosting a podcast that only talks about, I think the podcast is centered on sex and relationship. And she is a representation of the female cisgender, if I recall it correctly. So yun yung part niya sa podcast. And only this time, I remember Carrie, diba? She is a columnist, sex columnist siya talaga sa Sex and the City. But I think this time she will talk about sex and relationship in a more diverse and woke and inclusive manner, and which is a very contrasting to her character, because Carrie, she's polite, she's well put together, she's very feminine, diba? That's her character, eh? And I think that's gonna be her challenge for the entire season, or for the entire season, season 1. And because I'm thinking, how do you freely talk about sex and relationship in New York City? Tapos you are at the age of, sabihin nating late 50s, diba? And it's in a podcast, and you have social media in it. Kasi back in her day, like I said earlier, she used to do sex column. She's a writer, diba? But it's not as straightforward as how Che Diaz, one of her co-hosts, puts her on the spot on a segment they call it the woke moment. Tapos alam mo yung parang Che asked Carrie in a very nonchalant tone about the controversial topic, and she was caught off guard, and she is somewhat struggling to answer. And I'm just excited to see how things will unfold for Carrie and her podcast show, and how it can help her discover herself even more. And now another character in the show is Charlotte. Charlotte is still Charlotte, acting her, and she's acing her mommy game. She got 2 teen daughters, and they have very different personalities. One is girly like Charlotte, while the other is a bit rugged, and she loves skateboarding to be exact, and big shirts. And I think there's nothing much for the Charlotte character sa dalawang episodes that I've seen for now. But let's see how the entire season is gonna be for her. I'm just yeah, she keeps crying, especially on episode 2. Yun talaga, sobrang iyak siya ng iyak. And yung isa sa malaking change is actually Miranda's character. Aside from she's no longer a redhead, she went atomic blonde. But for Miranda, she quit being a corporate lawyer and now she's teaching herself to be, how do I put it? I want to say woke, but I think she's in a place, her character is in a place where she's looking for a meaningful cause and ayaw niyang maging racist. So she is educating herself. But the funny thing is, she's trying so hard not to be a racist, but also sa sobrang kaba niya, she ends up throwing her racist comments dun sa professor niya on the first day of class. And that scene was just like, alam mo yung it's please swallow me whole moment, ganon. Kasi yun nga, she went to a class. Siyempre, kabado siya, di ba? Tapos pagdating niya, yung classmates niya are all Gen Z. So imagine she is like 60-year-old, 59-year-old woman. And she's in a class of Gen Zs and basically people of color. And she was just so worried about saying the wrong things. Ending, she said all the wrong things at once. So parang, whoa, wait lang Miranda, saglit lang, easy girl. So for this show or season, I think it's Miranda's character yung magli-lead talking about, white privilege. And that's the thing now with shows. They wanna be politically correct, di ba? Yun eh. And a lot of shows in the 90s and in the early 2000s, sobrang problematic nila. Now that if they have a new spin-off, they are trying to be politically correct, diba? So that's what's exciting and that's what we have to abangan natin about this show. Ayun. And of course, sabi ko nga, yung ending ng first episode, diba, is truly a what the fuck moment. Big died. Mr. Big, as in like Carrie's love of her life, Big, died after he did an indoor cycling class, and that made you want to actually see episode 2 right away. And of course, the brand Peloton had something to say after the episode premiered because it left a negative depiction to the viewers as if kasi parang ang dating is ang naging cause of death ni Big was the indoor cycling, and Peloton had to clear that out the following day kasi nag-drop yung stocks nila ng 11% after the premiere, and people were like, what? Anong nangyari? Hindi na ako alam mo yun, mga ganong reaction, hindi na talaga ako mag-indoor cycling or something. But I think it was also addressed on episode 2 because there's a scene when Miranda and Steve was having a conversation while preparing for the service, and Steve was saying that, you know what, indoor bike is evil, and Miranda is telling him na nagkataon lang yun because Big, even though he has a heart condition, he had clearance from his doctor, and cardio is really good for the heart. So it's like parang bumawi si Just Like That don, or the producers of the series don. Yun yung bawi nila from the bad impression that it left to the viewers. Pero unfortunately, it had an impact to Peloton. So that's why a lot of articles that you can find now online, they were saying it's not the Peloton that killed Big, it's actually his lifestyle, etc., etc. So, and yeah, so I hope makabawi doon ng Peloton. And as for episode 2, it's much more of a farewell to the character of Big. But what I find weird is that Miranda gave the eulogy for Mr. Big, though si Carrie yung nagsulat ng poem. I'm like, bakit siya? Bakit hindi si Carrie? Diba? Kasi I think this is my reaction because Mr. Big and Miranda were never friends. Actually, si Miranda yung isa sa mga friends niya na sobrang tutol kay Mr. Big. And they're really not close. And I think yun lang yung, for me, that's the disconnect na the eulogy will be given by Miranda. That's all. And then another thing that caught me was the attitude of the people who who attended the service. Na parang, nakakaloka kayo. Parang there's this socialite there who was comparing her husband's Zoom service, telling na, alam mo ba, yung asawa ko, parang he's a big name in Broadway. Pero si Big, look at his service. Ang ganda-ganda. It's so high class, ganyan-ganyan. But yung asawa ko, ang service niya lang is on Zoom. And I was like, girl, di na problema ni Carrie yun. And then comes Susan Sharon, which is an old character from the series, na umiksena rin siya and said that, you know what, Carrie, I forgave you. I'm like, bitch, where? Saan? Saan mo siya papatawarin? Na medyo parang naguluhan ako. Bakit pinasok ng writers doon sa scene na yun or doon sa episode na yun, yung mga yun. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Anong nangyayari? Bakit ang gulo? Ganon. But above else, I think if we look at it, Big's death also marks the new beginning for Carrie Bradshaw's character. I'm sensing a bit of like what they did to Meredith Grey sa Grey's Anatomy. Because remember when she lost Derek, diba? Sure, may love interest na nakapaligid sa kanya, but she's concentrated on taking care of her family, her career, and herself. And ending episode 2, I asked myself, ano ba ang expectations ko from this new series? And for me, I think one of my biggest expectations would be, how are these women gonna learn from the modern world? Like I said earlier, can they show that old people can learn and have fun? You know, can you still be woke and be sensitive, but at the same time having fun? So the show received a mix of reaction from its audience, but for me, I want to finish the entire season first before I decide if I really like it or if I don't like it, because I want to see the grand scheme of things. Because diba, maybe they are not revealing something, maybe sa middle part pa nila i-reveal, so I don't wanna judge right away. But what about you? What do you think about this reboot? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know. Share it at the comment section. And definitely, this is not gonna be the last live cast for me para dito sa series na to. It's just the beginning, you know? And just like that, it's time to bring our guest today. Ayan, are you ready? Ayan, isama ko na siya sa stream. There you go. Ayan. Today, like I said earlier, sasamahan tayo ni Joe Alarcon. He's the podcast host and director of the Here We Go project, and he will join us tonight. Not tonight, today. And pag-usapan natin what's going on. Hi, Joe.
Hello, good
Jo.
afternoon. Hello.
Hi. Yes, welcome to the live cast session.
Hello, good afternoon, Metro and Mega Manila.
Radio ito.
True.
Hi, how are you?
I am doing great.
Ikaw,
Ikaw,
Roma.
It's been a while.
I know, right?
Bago ako ulit sa
podcasting na
ambience.
Oh my God. Yes, it's been a while that I did live cast session. And I honestly missed it. That's why I'm doing this now. Pero wait lang, Jo. Balitaan mo kami. What's going on? Do you have any updates on your podcast? And also Where Molded. Let's talk about Where Molded then.
All right, sure.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me, Roma.
Really great opportunity. And fangirling, actually. Because I've been a fan of your show for the longest time. And to have you as part of our previous Here We Go project. It's really amazing. And ayun, so I'm also podcast host. I'm the podcast host of the podcast show, the podcast where anything goes. And here to announce also like what you're doing right now. I'm also going to try few new things for the podcast channel. So I'll be rebranding the podcast channel. And with my tagline nga na, anything goes. I want to go to a direction that I am passionate in. Kasi before yung podcast channel ko, it aims to promote local Filipino artists here in the Philippines. And of course, talking about sensible topics that we are facing in our in our social climate. Pero ngayon, I want to shed light sa realities that we are experiencing specifically during this pandemic. And it is me merged passion in podcasting, and also my passion as a social worker. And ayun, so I'm very excited to launch my rebranding. And hopefully I still have yung mga supporters from my podcast channel na nag-aantay talaga. So thank you so much din sa
Yes.
Yes, may mga nag-message sa akin parang they're asking me kailan ulit susunod na episode. And hindi na ako kapag, di ba, ang hirap din mag-promote or magbigay ng date or even months when you will drop your episode. Pero hopefully, we will do that.
That's amazing. Oo, nako, marami naghihintay sa podcast mo kasi Jo is very busy because like yung sinabi ni Jo kanina, we worked together with this Here We Go project, and I hosted two of their sessions, diba? And that itself is a charity project, and ang daming mong tatrabahuhin. And of course, we understand that, a lot of things, it takes time, but yeah, just take your time and enjoy. Importante kasi yung nag-enjoy ka rin talaga sa sa journey mo as a podcaster. So all the best to you and your podcast. Balitaan kami. Let us know about it when it's coming. And eto, excited ako. What about this Wear Molded? O, di ba kahit basic ka, ang dami mo pa rin. May new business ka pa rin. May new business pa rin kayo. Let's talk about Wear Molded. Ayan. O, these earrings. Ang ganda-ganda naman.
Thank you so much, Roma, for supporting our small business. And yeah, I do have a business na kaka-launch ko lang recently. And this business, I started this business together with my co-owner, with Jason Shelo, and I know Binoni Nachkali Payon. So a brief introduction of our brand. It is an accessory brand by my co-owners, like I mentioned, Jason and and our products are made from polymer clays, which are molded to be worn. So we just launched our collection, homemade holiday, because the heart of the holidays, and it is a collection specifically made for the holiday season. So kung gusto nyo sa mga sa mother nyo, sa mga friends nyo, ayun, it's an ideal gift for the holiday season. And if you would like to check out our page, it's available on Facebook at Wear Molded. And also you can order our products on Instagram at Wear Molded. Thank you, Roma.
I love it. Ang ganda-ganda. I particularly like nabubulol pa. I particularly like the orange one. It looks like an orchid petal. Actually, orchid petals pala. So it's so nice. I love it. Very eye-catching ang iyong design. So we are really excited to see more of your products and future collections. So after this homemade holidays nyo, what's coming next?
Well, yung collection namin is very limited access talaga siya. So technically, after this collection, we will not be creating yung same designs na. So for our future collections, we really release different collections per season. So the pieces are limited. And for updates naman, kasi wala pa naman kami nakapila ngayon for the season or collection. But for updates, ayun, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and then we will be announcing new collection, which is really soon. After December, hopefully.
All right, congratulations guys, and I hope maraming mag-order and sobrang maaligaga kayo sa pag-fulfill ng order because why not, diba?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Aligaga is the word to define.
I love it. Pero wait lang, syempre, diba, we are done. We've talked about your podcast, we've talked about your new business. Now I want to ask you, are you a fan of Sex in the City?
Nako, Roma, yes.
Oh my God.
Parang lahat naman nakakilala ko mostly fan sila. Or if not fan, kasi diba, how do you really define
the word fan?
Diba? Pag sinabi bang fan, talaga inumpisa mo ba siya from start to finish? Pero ako kasi, I've always adore especially yung part ng fashion talaga ni Carrie Bradshaw.
Oh yes.
I've always forward to. And yeah, I can say that I've been a fan.
Yeah, me too. Alam mo bang napabili ako ng mga clutch bag because of Carrie?
Napabili tayo ng mga pacifier na mga headpiece.
Oh my God, yes! At saka bukod doon, ano pa ba? Yung mga shoes. Diyos me, talagang napagastos ka ng bonggang-bongga because of that. But I wanna get your opinion as a fan or as ano ba? Parang you love the show, right? How did you feel about the reboot?
Well, mixed feeling siya actually. That first episode, makuha mo agad yung intro pa lang, diba? Very nostalgic siya, especially when you the three characters, unfortunately, like you've mentioned, wala nga si Samantha dun sa mismo bagong franchise, pero still, it doesn't really feel as if it's incomplete. For me, personally. And I'm more excited din talaga on paano nila itatakbo yung story without Samantha. Because of course, we're the
I know, right?
So, ngayon tatlo lang sila. Doon pa ng episode mo, napapaisip ka na eh. Ano nangyayari? Paano kayo na to? And then, like what you mentioned earlier, yung cliffhanger. Episode 1. It was really shocking. Hindi ko na-expect yun. At naiyak naman talaga ako sa part na yun.
Naiyak ako, girl. Oo.
And alam mo ba?
I remember, we were...
Significance sa suot ni Carrie that time. Yung blue Manolo shoes.
Yes.
Wedding nila. Just ko. Beer.
Totoo. It was actually the engagement shoes nung inask ni Big to if gusto niyang pakasalan si Mr. Big, diba? Instead of an engagement ring, yung blue Manolo Blahnik shoes na yon, which is very iconic. Ang inoffer niya kay Carrie when Carrie opened her walk-in closet, diba? Because that's what she wanted before talaga. Walk-in closet. Tapos that shoes na she's been eyeing for, I think, for the longest time. And I remember we were having the conversation when I invited you. Sabi mo, shucks na tegi si Mr. Big.
That's the word.
That's the word. Sabi niya, shucks na tegi. Oo, girl. Sabi, no, sorry, nawala yung ano. Ayan, napindot ko. Ayun, parang, I was having so much fun. Sabi ko, oh my God, I'm so excited. The episode 1, no, light-lightan lang. Tapos nung dulo, and the way they orchestrated the scene, you know, the scene na he went off the bike and there was a classical music because it's also the performance of one of the daughters of Charlotte, diba? The music and how it intensified, leading to a very difficult scene. It was just like, wow. Hindi ko na-expect yun. Tapos yung dulo ko talaga, what the fuck? What did you do? Ito ang naghahanap ako sisisihin ng 2:00 ng umaga. Kasi morning ko na siya pinanood. So I was like, yeah, sige, I want something. Sabi ko pa, I want something light. Ganyan. Girl, mali pala yung expectation ko. Hindi pala siya light.
That is what we expected. Which is
Yeah.
ngayon, personally, parang mas gusto ko siyang subaybayan. And I think, killing a major character sa show, especially yung Mr. Big,
Yeah.
na talagang minahal din ng mga fans ng franchise, it will, it will create more depth dun sa that
True.
many of us think mga fans, diba? I think the route that they are taking now is especially kay Carrie and all of the amazing women naman doon, sina Charlotte, si Miranda. It's all about womanhood.
Yes. And also aging, like ageism.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were reacting na parang, oh, ano ba yan? Hindi na sila, I mean, dude, what will you expect from these girls who were so famous back in 1998? Gusto mo ganun pa rin ang itsura nila? Of course, I think that's the grace of the series itself, is actually giving spotlight to women of age. Kasi may edad na sila, but it doesn't mean naman that they cannot have fun or not enjoy life, diba? I mean, of course, maybe it's gonna be a different side of things, but I want to see, because soon enough, we will get there. We will age. We will be 50s. We will be in our 50s, 60s. And I want to know if, what are my choices? Parang ganon.
And it's very controversial, yung book ni Miranda. For me personally, gusto ko maging redhead.
Sabi niya daw mahirap na kasing magtina. Kaya atomic blonde na lang ang lola mo. Bakit ko pala labanan ng nature? Sabi niya gano'n.
Pero feeling ko, ibabalik nila yung hair color ni Miranda.
I think so, but probably mayroong mga ibang flashbacks pa yan eh. Because I remember when they dropped some of the photos of while they're doing the Just Like That series, parang nung nag-film sila, there are scenes na iba yung dress pa ni Carrie, and she was having an argument with Big. So I'm excited to have that. Maybe there will be flashbacks in the future. I don't know. But I'm really excited for this. I mean, like you said, I am really a fan of Sex and the City. I love every character. I loved every topic that they discussed over the series. And it's just nice to see them back. Diba?
Yes, sobra.
Ito, I have a question for you. Sabi ko naman, I won't let you go without asking you questions, diba? I want to know, Jo, what was one of your, and just like that, moment that you can never forget?
Well, siguro, my just like that moment would be when I decided to start my podcast channel. And naman I didn't know how. Like most of us who started, diba? Nung nag-start pa tayo ng podcasting, we didn't know how to do it. We didn't know anyone at that time. So everything was unsure for me. Pero I really trusted my gut and just went for it. And just like that. I'm a podcast
And just like
host.
that.
And with my podcast channel, I was really able to start the Here We Go project and meet more amazing people like you. Ayan, sina Alec Cuenca. Am I right? Alec
Yes,
Cuenca,
yeah.
Alexin C, Tita Jing. If I haven't started my podcast channel, what are the chances that I'll be meeting you, all of these amazing people, and start a charity organization
So true.
on my own.
And you haven't helped those people, diba?
Yes.
And just like that,
Yes.
you've reached out to more people, diba? To a better network. I love that. That's so nice.
Thank you.
Siguro for
Thank
me,
you.
sa akin naman medyo aligned siya. For my Just Like That moment, it's somewhat similar to what happened to the girls of the series, because I don't know, for some reason, just like that, I lost some friends that I thought will be there for a long time. But again, sabi nga, just like that, you find yourself not connecting, not clicking anymore. But then you have to move forward, and it's okay. I mean, I am thankful that I'm thankful for that chapter, and that I had them in my life, and I will treasure it. But may mga bagay talaga sa buhay na hindi natin dapat ipilit, and if it's not working, then let it be, diba? And who knows, maybe in the future, we might see each other again. We might be friends again. But maybe now is not the time. So, diba? Yun lang, sad lang na, just like that, we're not friends anymore.
And
Oh,
with
diba?
the
Relate talaga.
friendship itself, it's something na like what you've mentioned. It happened.
It happened.
And now
Yeah.
as fans
And
of
now
the
as
show,
fans of
we
the
can
show,
relate
we can relate
yung sa feud ni Samantha and ni
Samantha and
ni
ni
Carrie.
Yes.
But somehow,
Oh.
di ba yung distance natin dun sa mga taong yung kaibigan natin, it doesn't mean that we
it
hate
doesn't mean
them.
that we hate them.
Yeah.
Talaga parang parating the time na magkakalayo kayo. Pero
True.
it doesn't have to end there. It doesn't have to be a closed book. Pero of course, depende naman yan sa sitwasyon. Pero it doesn't have to always be that way.
I
Like what you said.
I like what you
Maybe in
said.
the future,
Maybe
diba?
in the future,
You
you
can
can still
reconnect and whatever.
Yes, and sometimes if you push more, like if ipilit mo, baka mamaya mas maging katulad nga nung nangyari kay Kim Cattrall and Sarah Jessica Parker, it comes to a point na hindi na sila nag-uusap na yung buong crew nung show hindi na comfortable, and that's not good. It's you're not creating a very good environment between the actors and the staff din. So I think it's also a good decision na talagang let it be. And sabi nga ni Kim Cattrall in one of her what do you call this? One of her interviews, sabi niya, this is a choice that I made when I turned 60. I'm choosing myself. This is what's make me, parang ito yung peace of mind ko eh. So, why are we taking that away from her, diba? So, yeah, accept na lang natin, guys. Let's be happy for them. Ito na, last na talaga, Jo, which, since magto-2022 na, diba, magbabago na ang taon, ang bilis ng 2021. May I know what mistake or which mistake taught you the most this 2021? And what did it teach you?
Nako, pang Miss Universe question na ito.
I know, right?
Pero I think yung sagot ko dyan, I think you can relate to this. Yung podcast channel, and just like myself, you have a lot of things going on your plate. Siguro exhausting yourself too much. Kasi ako yung tao na I want everything to be organized. I want everything to be on time. Sometimes nakakalimutan ko mag-rest. And I'm always awake 24/7. Diba?
Oh my gosh.
Diba? I don't know if you've experienced na ibigit mo yung mata mo, pero yung isip mo talagang awake na.
Yeah.
Kahit anong gawin mo. So, diba? So, I'm always awake. I always try to figure out how to do everything, if not perfectly. And I think it's because of my OCD, kaya somehow aware naman ako sa nangyayari. But I've learned na especially during this pandemic, we need to take some rest. Huwag natin magpahinga.
Yes.
Sabi nga nila,
especially now.
Huwag ka mamahinga.
Ayaw natin yun. Ano ba?
Diba?
Babalik ka pa dito eh.
Magpahinga ka.
Babalik ka pa dito. Huwag kaya magpahinga ka.
Yun dapat ang motto natin. Kapag pagod ka, magpahinga ka. Huwag ka mamahinga. Magkaiba yun.
Magkaiba rin ang magkaiba ng kalalagyan sa buhay ninyo. Oh my gosh. Pero totoo yan. Alam mo, I think especially now because of the pandemic, right? We are somewhat before we are excited that, you're working from home, you're more comfortable. Yeah. But come to think of it, when you work from home, parang mas stress ka kasi feeling mo kailangan mong mas maging overproductive. To a point that you are extending your work beyond the working hours, diba? Minsan you're still sending emails at 10 in the evening, diba? Dapat hindi na, dapat papahinga ka na nun eh, diba? So, yeah, it's nice. Thank you for reminding us that, we need to sleep, we need to take a rest, and seriously guys, take your day off seriously. Sabi nga nila, I've seen this quote na parang sinabi niya na yung day off mo, it's not para maghabol ka ng pahinga. It's actually for you to relax. Para the following work days, you are more productive. kasi diba, if you're pushing yourself na, kailangan ko mag-relax, dapat it comes naturally. Hindi mo siya ipipilit na you schedule everything because, because you have to, otherwise mawawalan ka. Iniisip na you're living in fear na hala, pag di ko na-enjoy tong weekend na to, hindi ako magiging okay the next work week, diba? So I think it's really important that we stress on having relaxed days. And I think for me, the mistake that taught me the most in 2021 is all about setting boundaries, because in the past, I think common for us not to have boundaries, because if you're the type of person who wants to help and be of help to people, you tend to put a lot in your plate. Sabi mo nga kanina, Jo, you want to do a lot of things to a point na parang wala naman minsan nagtatanong sa'yo, okay ka pa ba? Di ba? Parang, pagod ka na ba? Di ba? Di ba? Di ba? No one is asking you that. Pero you're volunteering, yeah, I can do that. Yeah, sure, I'm gonna do that. But you have to establish boundaries because if you establish a healthy boundary, whether it be work, personal relationship, I mean, it's also a way of taking care of yourself. So, kumbaga parang sometimes ang hirap mag-say no, na parang am I being not helpful, and ayaw mo nun, diba? But saying no and setting boundaries and sabihin mo na no, I need to rest, like connecting it to what you said, I think mas natutulungan mo yung sarili mo humaba ang buhay mo. Let's put it that way. Diba? Oh my gosh. So yun, thank you. Ay, oo naman. Mahirap din naman kasi bumalik minsan when you lost the momentum din, diba? So sakto lang. Saktong relax, but at the same time, balance talaga. Ayun. Nako, thank you so much, Jo, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Oh my God. This has been an amazing livecast session with you guys. And you, Jo, thank you for joining me this afternoon. Thank you for taking the time. Nako, I know people are so busy. Yes.
And thank you for having me. At salamat
one last time.
Sa mga shoutouts. So, hindi kami mag-open ka ba ng camera for this session in the future?
Maybe in the future. Not now. Medyo hindi pa tayo naligo. I mean, ako. At saka I think I want to do this so that they can have an experience on what a podcast is all about. It's just audio. Wala talagang masyadong visuals. Yeah, and one last time, Jo, can you invite them to where to follow you?
Yes. Thank you, Roma. And again, this is Joe Alarcon. You can follow me on Facebook, my podcast channel at There Goes Joe the Podcast. It is also available on Spotify and Apple. And also you can follow me on Instagram at There Goes Joe the Podcast. And also you can search my website, our website, HereWeGoProject.com. It's my charity organization. And my business, We're Molded, available on Facebook and Instagram. And if you want to connect with me, you can also follow me personally on Instagram at Joe Alarcon. Thank you, Roma.
All right. Thank you, Jo, for joining me this afternoon. Thank you for keeping us in the background. This is your favorite podcaster, Roma Miklat. Until my next session. Stay safe, guys. Bye.
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 And just like that.
And just done. Yes.